So, Honor Raymond, I don't know if you heard about this, but you and I did agree to do a Cinemas Corner this week. I don't know if you heard of our own conversations. But before we...
Seeing as I'm the one who asked you, I seem to
I seem to recall. Before we get into our Cinemas Corner, as the viewers can see by the title, I'm going to do a small critter segment just because I saw this on TikTok, and I wanted to share this on our platform, which of about 3 or 4 people. And because this is the first podcast episode we'll be recording in June, the month of June. It is Pride Month this month, and I got a compilation of marine life facts relating to such things as Pride Month. So I'm going to read those off here. So I think people kind of know this with seahorses. Obviously, the males are the ones that get pregnant, right? But what's it called? Most of seahorses are bisexual, because that's just nature. And then this one's cool. Raymond's gonna like this one. There are a lot of it's pretty common for albatrosses to be lesbians and committed partners and parents. So it says right here, in some colonies of albatrosses, as many as a third of the nesting pairs are both female and will just use a male to get pregnant. Surrogate albatross.
Dang. Whoa.
The lesbian pairs will show the same amount of devotion to their partners, share duties, and bond as a pair. So that's kind of awesome. That's crazy though.
That's
a third of albatross pair or nesting pairs. That's very nice. Pretty simple for this one. Starfish are both male and female at once. There is a term that we went over on the show that I don't remember. And this one is similar to Los clownfish, but I don't know how to say this. Wrasse fish, W-R-A-S-S-E. Race fish can change their gender for female to male. We've seen that before. Oh, here we go. More facts about this little guy. All bluehead and sheephead are born, or wrasse, again, I don't know how to say that word, are born female. They'll live in small groups with only one dominant male, and when he dies, the most dominant female changes to male. So there we go.
There we go.
And then it says here, clownfish, male to female. We know this.
Good.
Whoa! Okay, I didn't read the whole thing because I was like, this is cool. I'm going to save this. I'll learn myself on the cast. Teenage orcas, we love those guys. Teenage orcas have guys-only gay gangs. After young orcas are old enough to leave their family group, they form seasonal packs of just male orcas and will engage in MLM activities. Which MLM I believe stands for like man-loving man or male-loving male, same thing. That's awesome. Just guys being dudes. This is pretty common. I feel like you've heard about this. A lot of penguins are homosexual and show like homosexual behaviors in nature. There was famously 2 penguins that they married in a zoo that were both men that caused a lot of uproar. But yeah, they also kind of like the albatrosses, they commonly adopt abandoned eggs and become
that's cool.
Loving parents. All male bottlenose dolphins are bisexual. Flamingos, both male and female, will form homosexual relationships. Some with experience of heterosexual relationships, which is I like the experience of. They have a past of being straight, but right now, and then some with none at all. So I guess a lot of flamingos just choose to abstain. Let's see. Okay, the last one I have here are some gray whales are homosexual. They can form homosexual relationships with up to 2 partners. These duos or trios will feed and rest together when swimming together, and they will form a cute formation where their fins touch in a way that seems like they're holding hands. Researchers have yet to find an explanation for this. For now, we assume that they just enjoy each other's company. Isn't that sweet?
That's pretty cool. Nature's pretty cool.
Nature's pretty cool. Love is love in all species.
Nature's pretty evolved. I don't know how we're doing, but...
Yeah, I don't know about us. I've never heard of gay people. Animals,
well, they seem to accept it.
But yeah.
Dude, speaking of birds, the albatross one, I'm pretty sure I hit a bird today for the first time in my life.
Like with your car?
Yeah. So, I was driving, it was after
Happy Pride
my
Month, by the way. Anyways, tell me about
Yeah,
this
happy
car.
Pride Month.
Tell me about this
So I was driving, right, listening to the Metro Boomin soundtrack by Metro Boomin for the Spider-Man movie.
Yes.
Listening to it, I'm jamming with Corey LeRae. I think that's her name. I'm jamming.
Yeah.
And then, there's construction, and then I see this bird in the road, and usually the birds drive by or fly by just in time. I'm like, I don't know how they do that.
Yeah.
Well, this bird was not so fortunate. And so
this bird was not so lucky.
I think it saw me late, and then but it was trying to fly. And I'm like, oh, come on, get there. And then it hit I saw like the feathers hit the car, and then I look behind me and I see like feathers like fly in the back. And I'm like,
no.
I think I killed that bird.
Evaporated that bird.
Dude, and I felt so bad. I was like traumatized. I cannot jam to that song anymore. and then I was driving, and then I get into the neighborhood, and then I see like another bird's like there, and I'm just like, this bird's not moving. So I just stopped the car, and then the bird flew away, and I'm like, never again. This is not happening. I will get a car crash before I hit another animal like this.
I will swerve on the oncoming traffic.
And it's weird because I'm pretty sure my mom like targets pigeons. Like when she's driving, like she does not feel anything if she hits a bird, and I'm just like,
how do you?
I was like, I can't imagine hunting a deer and like eating it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I also hate. I've never, thankfully, been the cause of, except for like bugs. You always see like it's like, well, you hate to see it. But I've never been the cause of like an animal getting hit or roadkill or anything like that. But every time you see roadkill like on the side of the road.
Yeah,
I'm silent for the rest of the car trip. That's so sad. It's devastating. I couldn't imagine. But that's really funny that your mom swerves into them.
Well, I don't know. That's what you said. I just said I'm pretty sure
really
she
funny
does
that
not
your
feel
mom
bad.
drives directly into birds on purpose. That's interesting.
Yeah, but that's my critter-related story of the week, and it happened just this morning.
Just barely this morning.
I would have had nothing.
I would have had nothing. All right. All right, should we just get right into it, Raymond?
Okay, so we'll do Dan's long-awaited the American black bear or brown bear next week.
Yeah.
Because we've been waiting at least 3 weeks for Dan to do this animal.
Yeah. The critter heads are anxious. This will be actually no, this will not be anything special. It'll just be me talking about a black bear for an hour. But in the meantime, me and Raymond did go separately this weekend to watch Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And Raymond texted me on Sunday for us to record an episode about it. Yeah. So that's what today's episode will be. You probably would have wagered that from the title. Don't know what I'll title it, but it'll probably be related. So I am curious, Raymond, what exactly about it inspired you to ask about the Cinemas Corner?
Well, because I had a reaction that a lot of people I felt had, including people in the very theater I watched it in. Mm-hmm. Now, I'll just get the negatives right out of the way, which is just one.
Just one.
And then I can talk positively about the movie. I hate how it ended.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I will say this. I will say that too. I agree wholeheartedly. Should we?
Oh.
No. I mean, obviously spoilers. We didn't say how it ended, so we're good. We're good. Yeah. So far. Do we want to just try to talk about non-spoilers for a while, and then at some point we'll just be like, okay, skip to this, or no, don't watch anymore? Or
Jacob's seen it because he was with you.
That's true. Let's just assume.
I don't know who else.
Let's just assume if you want to watch this movie, do not listen to this episode. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Stop now. You heard the gay facts. You heard the gay animal facts. Go home.
You heard my
story. Come back next week. Watch the movie. Come back to this episode, or come back next week. That being said, spoilers begin now.
Okay.
One thing about me. Hate a cliffhanger.
No. Okay. Here's my thing.
Cliffhangers. Go on.
I'm gonna take this back. I'm gonna take us back thousands of years. Allow me. So everything I'm saying is from a craft perspective and I don't want to trash on this movie because these are very smart people who make these movies. Yeah. They're very passionate, as you can tell, because it just is beautiful.
Yeah.
But I think ending on a cliffhanger is a money grab and just it's irresponsible. Now let me take you back. All right. So this is a fact that you can find articles on. There has been no culture. Every culture that is alive and exists today, no culture in the world that has not told stories, or that has never not told stories. Every culture has storytelling. some form of it, and that tells you something. So now, movies didn't exist. They weren't around as long as humans have been around.
Yeah.
It came out late 1800s, early 1900s.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a new medium that we have. But what it's taking from is storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that, you and me do, same thing everyone does, like, every day.
Yeah.
They tell stories. My dad comes home, my mom and him are sitting on the couch eating dinner. They swap stories of how their day went.
Mm-hmm.
It's just an average thing we do.
We did that this beginning of this episode.
Exactly. So imagine if me and Dan were talking, let's just say we went out for coffee. We went out to Dunkin' Donuts where we usually get our coffee. And, well, you don't get coffee, but So we're sitting at Dunkin' Donuts. He's drinking his chai tea, or tea, sorry.
His TT.
Yeah, TT. I didn't mean for that to happen. That's funny. But his TT, and I'm drinking like a coffee that I stole there because that's how I do it. But
that's just how it is.
Yeah.
Day in the life.
Yeah, day in the life. And so we're sitting there, and I'm telling him this amazing story, this compelling story about how I was talking to this girl, and it's this girl that I've been talking about for a while, and how I'm getting ready to like ask her out or something like that. Hypothetical situation. Yeah. This has never happened. And I'm saying all this stuff, and then I tap on her shoulder. I say that, and then I stop. I'm just silent. And then Dan's like, "Well, what happened? Did you ask her out?" And I was like, "I'll tell you next week if you buy me a cup of coffee." That's essentially what this cliffhanger does. It makes you wait another year to figure out how it ends. Yeah. Now, if you just hearing that story of like, did you ask her out? And I'm like, no. Or I'm just like, I'll tell you next week. Mm-hmm. You'd feel robbed. You would feel like, what the hell? You were telling me this for a reason, and I don't know the reason. You just stopped. You just want, me to give you stuff. And so that's, in real life, we get frustrated when that happens, when someone doesn't tell you the resolution of a story. And the same thing's happening at the end of this movie. Me, my dad, and my sister all had the same reaction. I heard them say it, because in my head, I'm just like, I can't believe it. There's no way. And then they were just like, is that it? Are you kidding me? Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, okay, I'm not alone here.
Yeah.
So I just think it's irresponsible to do that, because it's a thing that, TV shows do a lot now, especially series.
Sure.
They end on cliffhangers, in episodes, but also, ending a season on an episode to get you to watch the next one. Mm-hmm. Now that's, that works for them to get viewers, but that's not a very...
There's a very interesting... I've seen a lot of media in my life, and a lot of things have ended with cliffhangers. And it's not always incredibly disappointing, because sometimes whatever their story they are telling, whether it's a season or an episode or a movie, sometimes they wrap up enough that it's still kind of satisfying, but the cliffhanger is just like, there's more adventure to be had. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the thing with this one is that I should have expected it, because it was going to be one movie, and then they were like, this story's too long, we're splitting into two movies. So that should have been, I should have at least expected it, but I didn't. But I slowly at some point in the movie, I will admit, I was like, we've been here for a while.
Yeah.
And things, I'm not enjoying it. I'm having fun, but I'm like, the pace of things, this is not going to end today.
Yeah.
I am not going to walk out of this theater
100%.
a complete man.
When they got to, after, I could say that happened to me after Miles escaped Oscar Isaac. And he's like at his, basically when he finds out he's in the not his home world.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, we have a lot left to resolve, and that's not getting resolved today.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, okay.
I think it was for me. It was like we were still in Earth 2099, like Nueva York, like the Spider Society stuff. I was like, we haven't seen Spot in a minute. I was like, huh. Well, I'm here. I already paid the ticket. I'm here, and I my popcorn. But yeah, no, the cliffhanger was unfortunate. Let's be honest. I was gonna watch the next movie anyway.
Oh, regardless, yeah.
I think they very well knew that, and I don't know. I understand that they said that the story was too long, and I guess I necessarily didn't want to watch a 5-hour movie. Although Five-Hour
I
Spider-Man movie doesn't sound too bad.
I would have sat down for
4-hour ZSJL, 6-hour even Spider-Man movie. I'm there every week.
Every week.
I'm there day one. But yeah, so I to an extent I understand from like a logistic perspective if they wanted it, but like it was, I can't lie and say it wasn't a little bit disappointing. You know, you can't lie.
Because Empire Strikes Back, that's sort of it's Luke's story.
Yeah.
And they resolve, Luke's journey through that arc.
Yeah.
But there's still like a question like, oh, they're gonna go get Han.
Yeah.
That's still out there for the third movie.
Yeah.
And you could do that and still resolve the main storyline in this one. They just didn't do that in this.
They just didn't.
They left a lot just like, yeah, Spot's coming back.
Yeah.
We're gonna team up and get Miles back.
I will say though, Gwen's team at the end, fire. Ham's back.
That black guy? Hell yeah.
Dude, when me and Jacob were in the theater and I grabbed him and I was like punching him, like excited because when I saw that little fucking pig is back.
Nick Cage is back, baby.
Oh man.
I was excited for
Penny
that.
Parker, her new robot design, very cool. And
I didn't see it.
She's
Oh, that was her?
Remember in the scene where they're telling him like Miles canon event all that and she like opens up the mask and she looks like aged and sad. I was like, damn. That canon event hit her hard. But yeah, I will say this one's not really anything the movie's fault, I don't think. Maybe a little bit. But my only other negative aside from the ending is, I don't know if you had this problem, and I know a lot of people did, like hearing about it online. People had a really hard time hearing the movie, like dialogue.
Yeah. Mine was just in the beginning.
I was like that for a good most of the movie. At some point in the movie, me and Jacob, every time someone would talk, we'd just be like, because we couldn't, there were so many lines we just couldn't hear. And I think it was just the theater because they, in the theater, like the projectionist people have to do some sort of sound mixing themselves. And I think it was just not good. Flagstaff be like. But,
that's like everybody.
Yeah. But I think some people were like, I heard it fine. And I even saw like a video on my TikTok of someone recording the screen, like a clip from the movie. And I heard it perfectly over like a fucking phone camera. And I was like, it must have been my fucking theater. Regardless, I was going to watch it again anyway. But
Arizona theaters.
Arizona theaters be like. Okay. I was going to watch it again today, but no money. So I'm going to watch it again next week. But yeah, that ends the negatives for me. For me personally.
Me too. I'd say the last time I heard like where I was having difficulty hearing. Yeah. Was when Miles' mom was talking to him, about. It was in his nope. I don't know when it was.
Was it like underneath a little water tower looking thing?
I don't think so. I think it was before that, but whatever. Yeah, I just remember it was with his mom in the beginning. That was it.
Nice.
But dude. All right, let's talk about the positives here because I want to go in.
Okay. Now let's try to. How are we gonna do this? Are we just gonna rattle off like a bunch of nerds?
I want to talk about Gwen right now.
Let's talk about Gwen right now. I'll say one thing: Gwen's world, Gwen's universe,
beautiful.
Need a trilogy just set there. Insane.
It's so pretty.
And did you hear the interview of how Haley Steinfeld, like how they told her it was going to look, like when they pitched it to her, pretty much? She was like, her universe is a mood ring. So the colors of everything changes with her mood. So you are, as the audience, feeling like that's why when she said it, everything's like blue and like a dark purple kind of thing. And then when things got like heated and angry, it was like red and And I was like, oh my god, that makes so much fucking sense. Oh my god, it's just beautiful.
It looks so good.
Visually, the best movie that's ever existed. like the way that Into the Spider-Verse pushed animation in film as a whole. This one just threw out of the park all of animation. Every other animation studio is quaking in their boots.
Pixar better watch out.
Pixar better watch out. That Pixar look, the days of the Pixar look are over.
Elemental.
Oh, dude, I saw a trailer for that before the movie. I was like,
me too. I was like, oh
so
man,
bad.
I feel so bad for Pixar. I mean, Pete Docter's their only last hope. I think he's the only one around.
The thing is, the last one wasn't even bad. Turning Red was not bad. And before that was what, Luca and Soul? Those are fine. And then
I mean,
Elemental,
Soul's up there. I don't know what this Luca business.
I don't
is
know.
talking about.
I don't know what this Luca.
I don't know why you
movie
put him in the same sentence. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, I feel you. What was I gonna say? I don't know.
Pixar.
Okay.
I don't know how they recover.
I don't know. They're literally Miles Morales went to the Pixar office and shot them dead in their office. There's nothing they can do. They have to whatever they're working on now, scrap all of it, start over.
Honestly,
but-
dang, that sucks. So that probably means they're like 3 years into that one idea then.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, this movie took probably for fucking ever to make. You hear about that? It took them 3 years to animate just Spider-Punk. It took them 3 years just for him. I was like, damn.
Wow.
Imagine.
He wasn't even in the whole movie.
He wasn't. He was for like 10 minutes. He was cool though. He was
Yeah.
cool. But
The baby little girl was funny with him.
Mayday.
Too.
Mayday was good. Yeah.
That's her name.
Her name was Mayday. Yeah.
That's sick. I like her little. I want that crochet.
The little beanie. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'll take 3, please.
I'll take 3 for me. Thank you. Yeah. So what did you want to say about Gwen?
Okay. So sorry, my light came out.
No worries.
There we go. Okay. So, you know I'm a sucker for like so I'll just say Shazam 2. Rachel Zegler
Oh, you
and
sucker for
what's his
white
name?
women. Just kidding.
No, she's not white. What are you talking about?
Grace Moore. What's her name? Grace Curry.
I was talking about Rachel.
Oh.
Rachel and Freddie.
Oh, so you're
So
sucker
you know
for
I'm
romance.
I'm a sucker for that kind of romance, that teenage romance there.
Yeah.
So when
Young
they were
love.
on
Young Love.
So when they were when she's like in his room, my face, I was trying to conceal my smile. And then when she flips through his notebook, I'm like, "Oh my gosh."
Oh my
and
God.
then she sees the drawings, I'm like,
She's
I was so like, "Oh my gosh."
Oh
and
my
he's like, "I
God.
missed you too." And I was like, "That's such a good line to say." Oh my gosh. And then they're underneath the tower and like the city's backwards and all that.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is so pretty, and I
That
just
whole
love this
scene-
moment.
Yeah. That whole scene
And then
is
she-
fucking beautiful.
Little
Yeah.
shoulder.
Little bit of a.
And he's creeping his hand towards her, and she's like, every universe Gwen falls for, and it doesn't end well, and then
He like slides it back. Yeah. Yeah. No, it was good.
I'm giddy for that love stuff, though.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
No, everything with Gwen was pretty good. And then I don't know, everything about Gwen's story was really, really cool. Peter Parker Lizard from that universe had a really cool design. There was someone.
And she killed him.
There was someone played him, and I was like, oh my god, I know that person. I forgot who it was. Didn't know him that well. But yeah, so yeah, everything with Gwen, really cool. Her whole like character development of the movie, character growth is pretty cool. Like with her wanting to be with Miles and going over and then being like, I regret ever coming to see you, and he was like, damn.
Dude, and then when he's like invisible and she's looking out to like the where he is,
Yeah.
but she doesn't know he's looking right at her, or she's looking right at him, and she's saying all this stuff about.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my gosh,
Beautiful, amazing.
I would have turned visible.
I will say some of the stuff with Gwen when we find out that some of the stuff like when we were in like the Spider Society, and then all the moments where he's just kind of like, you knew, or shit like that. That was crazy. The tension was high. The
Palpable.
betrayal, palpable tension in that theater.
The sexual one too.
Yeah.
No, that's what the Spider-Man. I don't know his name. The freaking Deadpool driver, taxi driver. That guy's character.
Spider-Man India. Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
I don't know.
that's like a Spider-Man title in the comics. His
Oh.
yeah.
But like he was like, it's you could feel it
palpable.
when he was talking about them two. I was like, he's right.
Tell you what, loved the Spot. That guy is so fucking cool. His theme, like once he
Great voice actor.
Once he becomes, yeah. Do you know who played him?
No, he just sounded cool.
I don't know if you know him by name, but Jason Schwartzman.
I've heard the name.
He's in like Wes Anderson movies. He's that Gideon whatever his name is in Scott Pilgrim, like the villain. You've seen him before.
Is it the pianist guy?
No, that's Adrian Brody.
Oh,
It doesn't matter.
that's the name. I think.
But great voice actor. And then when he gets like to the collider in Mumbaton, and then like he becomes like the dark version of himself. That theme, that music, chills. Such a fucking good. What's his name? Daniel Pemberton is a master on the keys. in
keys.
the stew. But yeah, no, I don't know. He's really cool. Like I love people have mentioned this before online, but like the change from him robbing the convenience store and being like, would never rob someone. Please don't make this a bad experience for me. To him just being like, you took everything from me, or I'm gonna take everything from you. Like you took everything from me. I was like, damn. And then the whole you threw a bagel at me was really funny. You threw a
He's
bagel
like,
at me.
I threw a lot of food at people or whatever he said. I wonder if you go back to watch the first one, if that actually is it probably is.
I have seen the clip. It's really hard because it is pretty in the background, but the design's close enough where you're like, yeah, okay. I believe
That's
it.
him.
Another,
It's so funny.
yeah, go on.
Sorry.
No,
I just like Spidey's little quips where he's like, ATM stands for, and then he's like, you're saying
why do they always
machine.
say ATM machine? M stands for machine. Yeah, no, that was really funny. And I don't know. I loved all the spot. He was just really funny too, when he was like, "I love how many iterations of you guys there are." But no, another thing that I haven't noticed all of them because I've only seen the movie once. Everything that I've noticed, I noticed a couple things in theater, and I'm seeing a lot of things online of people pointing it out. But there are so many like tiny little details that like the first one was fucking full of it too, right? And one that I thought was really cool was when Spot is explaining his backstory. I think it's when it is, and you find out that and he's like, the spider that I brought from a different universe bit you and whatever, right? You can see the universe that the spider comes from, and it was like about to bite that Miles because you can see him with like the dreads that he had, and it was like right reaching towards his hand. It was supposed to bite that Miles, and I was like, that's really cool. That's fucking awesome.
How do people see this?
And then another thing, I don't know if you saw this, but in the same one where he's like, I took everything.
Probably not.
You took everything from me. I'm going to take everything from you like you took everything from like that little scene where it's like drawn and everything. There's a shot where you see like just like a landscape underneath Spot, just like full of like presumably dead spider people. Like a bunch of the different spider things like knocked out and like laying on the street. And one of them was a little Spider-Man plush. And I was like, no! No!
Let's talk about the spiders.
Let's talk about the spiders.
My favorite spider, actually, it's not my favorite. Top 5 though.
Top 5 though. Easy.
When we go that Lego world, and
yeah!
and then Miguel O'Hara is like, "Thank you, Peter. You're one of our best recruits," or whatever. I was like, best. "Let's go!"
Yeah, that was so fucking funny.
You know the story on that one?
The little kid?
Who made the trailer?
Yeah. Like the 14-year-old kid.
That's so cool.
That's fucking
I found that out
insane.
today.
I heard that, and it was like a couple months ago. I was like, damn, I don't know how long that shit takes, but that kid must have been putting in the work. Because I was like, damn.
I wonder if he got paid.
He fucking better have. But
he better have.
That was so cool. Like the little, like the beep boop boop, like the old noises. It felt like a Lego movie. It was really cool. And then him just being like, "Thank you, Peter. You're one of our best." that line really got me and Jacob. That was really funny.
That was one of my favorites.
Yeah, you're one of our best. No, he is top 5 Spider-Man for sure. But yeah, obviously, like all the references, the cameos, the Easter eggs, insane. Especially obviously in Nueva York in the Spider Society. Sorry, I got something in my throat. Donald Glover, Prowler. That was pretty cool. That was really cool. His costume looked fucking sick. I hope we see more of him. Don't really see why we would, but you know.
Yeah. That's what I told. I was like, yeah, they're probably not going to use him again. That's probably why he's in this movie.
I don't know how to explain it. They didn't do it very often, but when they did, I really enjoyed it. Unless this is me not knowing, and it could very well be a reference that I'm not familiar with. But I like it when these movies have done like twists on Spider-Man variants that are not like straight from the comics, but like their own like, what if this was happening, you know? The only one I can think of is obviously John Glover Prowler, but also fucking what was it? I literally had it to my tongue. Hold on. We saw it in the movie is the thing. Couldn't tell you. It'll come back to me. But like there are so many that are like from the comics, obviously. Like my favorite was Peter Parked Car, like the dune buggy that was sentient.
Oh yeah.
You see that? Yeah. The sentient spider cat, Spider Rex. Spider Rex was cool to see, even if he was up for like 2 seconds. The giant dinosaur.
I remember my favorite now.
What was your favorite?
I feel like we've talked about this either on another episode or like just, without a mic on us.
Yeah.
But the cowboy Spider-Man with the horse.
Yeah.
That was my favorite.
Yeah.
Absolute favorite.
For sure.
Why does the horse need a mask to conceal his identity?
Yeah, he's really cool. I read a comic with him, and he has a thing called Rider Sense, where he can, instead of Spider Sense, where he can telepathically speak to his horse. That's really cool. I will say one thing that I didn't notice until after the movie was done. We did not see Japanese Spider-Man. We didn't see Spider-Man, and he was said to be in it. He's like they said, like I think it was either Phil Lord or Chris Miller. They were like, yeah, he's already modeled. We got him in the movie. So, but that was before they announced that they were splitting the movies. So he better have a pretty big fucking role in the second one. He better have a pretty big role in Beyond. I'm just saying, he better be fucking
mecha
huge.
Or whatever the hell that is.
Yeah, his giant Leopardon is the name of the robot. Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
Need to see that. But yeah, no. Obviously, there was one called Sun Spider, the one she had like the wheelchair but with like little spider legs. That one was really cool. That one was like a fan design that was like made after Into the Spider-Verse, and everybody was like making their spider sonas. And then Marvel hired a bunch of fans to make spider sonas for their comics, and that was one of them.
That's so cool.
And she's like this lesbian, and she's like a handicap. She's like in a wheelchair normally, but in the movie they gave her wheelchair like spider legs instead of. And she has like crutches, and she can shoot her web shooters out of her crutches. That's pretty cool. Yeah, there's just a lot. Spectacular Spider-Man.
That
was crazy. Oh yeah, obviously Andrew Garfield and Tobey. They were just scenes from the other movies, but you didn't see this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did.
I was like, what the fuck? Surprisingly,
They're the only human things in there.
Surprisingly, I didn't see Tom Holland, which is weird.
Yeah, odd. I didn't see it either. I was looking out for him.
That's interesting. I mean, I guess it makes sense. Actually, no, it does make sense because the two moments that they referenced didn't happen to him, where a captain close to him dies and Uncle Ben dies. We didn't have on screen of any of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they could have done Aunt May, but anyways. What else?
Forgot she died.
R.I.P. You hate
I haven't
to see
seen that
it.
movie in a minute.
You hate to see it. R.I.P.
Someone was saying like they were like I'm calling it. They're like Toby, Andrew, and Tom team up with Miles to defeat whatever his name is.
I was telling Jake, I was like, could you imagine if in the last scene when she like gets her team, you see like the three of them in like cartoon versions of their live action suits, like just with their group shot? Like that would have been fucking crazy. That would have been awesome.
That would have been. People would have lost their minds.
People lost their minds. I mean, Ham is still better, but you know, I mean, I'll take what I can get.
Yeah. So is Nicolas Cage.
So is Nicolas Cage, but you know, it is what it is. No, I don't know. There was a lot. It was a lot of cameos. It was what you expect though. When every frame is animated as closely as they do, you got to put everything they can in there. But yeah, and now I think here's actually I'll ask this before we segue into the deeper stuff of the movie. Where does this rank in your Spider-Man movies?
The ending kind of left a sour taste. Not gonna lie.
I won't lie.
So if I'm gonna watch it again, but I know I'm just gonna be disappointed. Like this movie ends with no, you know, I have to I'm gonna rewatch Into the Spider-Verse today.
Mm-hmm.
To see where that ranks, because my dad was watching it before we went to the theater.
Yeah.
You know, so he's caught up. And I was like glancing at it every time, like looking up. I'm like, dang, I forgot how good this movie was. And then, so I'm gonna rewatch it today.
Yeah, I watched it the night before on Friday. It's still my favorite movie all time. That's the thing. I
can see why.
That's the thing. Across the Spider-Verse, if we're being completely honest, was never going to reach that bar for me. Because Into the Spider-Verse not only is my favorite Spider-Man movie, it's probably my favorite movie, period, all time. It was never going to reach that bar for me. But it was still awesome sauce. But yeah, I think I put it maybe like number 5. I think I don't know the exact order, but obviously Into the Spider-Verse is first. I have Homecoming and Spider-Man 2 in there somewhere. And maybe No Way Home, and then Across the Spider-Verse, something like that. I don't know. I don't remember exactly. But
I would say for the feeling it gave me, top 3.
For sure. I feel that.
Aside from the ending.
Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it moves up for me. Just gonna put that out there.
It got me listening to that. Obviously,
good.
I was gonna listen to the album anyway by Metro Boomin. Metro. Oh,
he had a cameo in the movie. That was cool.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
He was the Spider-Man that was like, you got nowhere to run, and then he jumps out the window. He's like, sorry guys, I guess there was somewhere to run. That was him.
That's funny. So I listened to the whole album, bangers,
all around bangers.
But then I listened to the OG album from the first movie. I was like, dang, there's some bangers on here too.
Still kind of unmatched, if I'm gonna be honest.
I'm gonna say the same thing. There's so many more bangers on that one.
And
I would say
it could be quote unquote a nostalgia, even though it was only 5 years ago. But like, I don't know, Sunflower is undefeated.
Elevate.
Elevate's insane. I love.
What's Up, Danger?
What's Up, Danger? I love Familia. I don't know.
I'm Not Scared.
Yeah.
That one's my favorite.
Literally.
I'm not scared.
Yeah.
Hey.
Banging soundtracks.
The Juice WRLD one, Hide.
Yeah, Hide is good.
The In You I Confide. I just know that's how it goes. It's probably another one.
Probably.
But bangers across the board. There's
Bangers
one with
across the-
Jaden Smith.
In the first one?
I think it's called Way Up.
Oh yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Jaden does a song for the Miles Morales video game, which is also cool.
That is
Called
cool.
I'm Ready.
Do you see that they were playing that game in the movie? His roommate Genki, when he was like sitting
That's
there on
cool.
the, he was like playing on his. You could see that like that's the game he was playing. Oh, that was funny. Yeah, no, definitely unmatched soundtracks. I'm not gonna lie, this new one is a good soundtrack too. I haven't listened to it like fully, but I put it on and I was like, I could fuck up some of these.
Especially that Coi Leray one. Whew. And I saw someone comment like Coi Leray's still a thing, and I'm just like, what? You make one hit song, and I'll wait. That's all I'll say.
That's all I'm gonna say.
But banger moods, banger vibes. This soundtrack and the movie gave me in general.
Oh, I remember the thing I was gonna reference earlier, where like their own twist on an alternate universe. It was Vulture at the beginning of the movie, like the medieval Vulture. That was really cool. I don't think we've ever seen that before in the comics. I could be wrong, but he was funny. And then I love when they were fighting him and he like pulls the wing out of nowhere, and Miguel's like, great, he's got hammer space, and in the bottom it's like hammer space, and it defines it.
Oh yeah.
He was cool. Anyways, soundtrack was a banger.
Hammers. I like when Gwen's like, "Oh, you shouldn't do that because you're made of paper or whatever."
Yeah. Also, Jessica Drew was really fucking cool.
The motorcycle one?
Yeah, motorcycle lady.
Yeah, I don't like her.
Wow, why not?
She's a bad guy now to me.
Well, yeah, but so are half the fucking Spider people.
Yeah, but I don't like her.
That's why the theory of like, you know, the poster where it's like everyone on the right side of Miles is for him and everyone on the left is against him. It's starting to make sense if you start to look at. Oh, speaking of which, Ben Reilly, Andy Samberg, he was really funny.
That was
that was Andy Samberg, yeah.
It was
And
funny.
he was like looking in the alley. But yeah. Okay, so I want to ask. Obviously, the reason we watch these movies, and that's the story, and emotionally speaking, this movie still does a really great fucking job. I will say, this kind of did. So also, I didn't mention this. I don't know how aware you are of this, but for all of my homies who have me on Letterboxd, know that I give a lot of 5 stars pretty fucking easily. And this movie I get a 4.5 stars, and which is devastating for me personally. It might be a 5-star eventually, who knows? But I will say that watching Into the Spider-Verse on Friday, there were so many moments that immediate tears down my face, and not even the ones that they probably intended, like the scenes that they intended. Obviously, there were ones that they probably were in the stew, like they're gonna cry at this. I was there crying at those, but there were ones that got me that probably weren't those moments intentionally. And I don't remember feeling that like to the point of tears in this movie. It never got me there. That being said, it was still a really nice story, and I mean, I think it still knows what it wants to say, and it does say it pretty well, despite how we feel about the ending, in my opinion. Like the whole speech with Miguel and his mom, where she's like, "There's gonna be a bunch of people who try to tell you all this stuff, and then not to fit in or whatever, and just ignore them." And that's literally like the whole thing of the movie. He says, "Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing." That was a cool scene too. Everybody's trying to tell me what to do. Anyways, but yeah, no, the story, very cool. And also, you know how like, I mean, arguably the first movie could have a couple themes to take away from, or not arguably, it can. I think it's arguable which one is like the main theme, because when I first watched it, I thought it was anyone can wear the mask. That was the one that resonated the most with me. But then rewatching in the past couple years, what resonates the most with me is it's a leap of faith kind of mentality of it, right? And obviously, I mean, it's this one. What is the little phrase that they put on the posters? It's what you do with the mask that matters. That's the message of this. And I think they did pretty well with that, because I mean the whole point is that there's all these spider people, and some of them are good and some of them are bad, And I think it emphasizes it even more in the end when it's revealed that that Prowler of that universe is Miles. Because in both cases, Miles is wearing a mask, but one's good and one's bad, thus emphasizing it's what you do with the mask that really, like, matters in terms of, you know, being a fucking person. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's a good story, and I think it did a good job of, like, I don't know, making me give a shit about that stuff. Yeah. And I think it's also reinforced a little bit with like Spider-Gwen stuff, because she also goes with the stuff that she does with the mask, and how that affects her life with her father, and now she's scared to go back and everything. I don't know, man. Kind of an awesome film, if you ask me.
Kind of awesome. Kind of makes you wonder why it's 4.5.
It kind of makes you wonder why I even give it less than half a star. You hate to see it.
I think that's why. I think part of that reason is why I was so upset at the ending, because they did get me to care about these people, and I'm just like, I want to see how it ends for these people.
Yeah.
Like, does Miles' father die? You know, how's that going to affect him and his relationship with his mom? And, you know, how is Miles and Gwen's relationship going to resolve and whatnot?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm just like, well, now I have to wait a year to see that. I can't believe this. Yeah, because there were moments where I was like, I'm in. Like, I could tell that I was, like, drawn in.
Yeah.
Like, the family ones immediately, I'm just like, holy crap.
Yeah.
You got me. And the Gwen one, obviously, I'm a sucker for that stuff, so automatically I'm drawn in. But yeah, it's just, they got me to care, and I just hate that it didn't tie up those loose ends. Obviously, it's going to do it in the next movie. You know, obviously they have a plan for that, because there's going to be one. But for the people who, you know, like my dad who doesn't keep up with this stuff, you know, he's not going to know that it was one big movie and then they split it up into two.
Yeah, for sure.
So for him, I think it was upsetting because, you know, granted, he did fall asleep. But that's his way.
Damn.
I mean, he fell asleep at Winnie the Pooh, so what does he know?
What does he know? What does he know about cinema?
But for my sister, who also doesn't keep up with this stuff, I think she was a little upset because of you get people to care, and it's not paying off emotionally in terms of those relationships. Yeah. But I will say, great movie.
Fantastic. I will say another movie this year that ended with a cliffhanger, but a much worse one, if you ask me, was Fast X. It was fucking awful. This one didn't make me nearly as upset, which is crazy because I cared about this one a lot more. But I think deep down I was like,
I paid money for this.
They'll do right. They'll do right. They'll do me right in a year. I'll be back in a year. Guys.
I thought you meant Fast Furious.
Oh no, they'll never do me right.
They'll never do me right.
One thing about them, they'll never do me right.
Last week we talked about like the movies that we're gonna see. You know, we said Barbie, Indiana Jones, but I forgot Oppenheimer. But I forgot The Flash is coming out.
Yeah, this is a big month actually because we had Spider-Man. This weekend is Transformers. I think the next is Indiana Jones maybe. I don't know. I know at some point in this month it's Transformers, Spider-Man, Indiana Jones, The Flash, Elemental. I'm there.
I'm not.
Okay. I was just gonna wait for it to come out on Disney Plus. And I think those are the big ones. But still, that's a lot. That's like 4 movies that I'm probably gonna watch this month. There's probably another one, but it's a big month for movies. Big year for movies.
Big month. Big.
I don't know about that one.
This made me excited. I think the one thing I can say about this movie is that it made me excited to like go back to the theaters to watch a movie and just be like, wow.
Cinema's back is the thing about this.
Look what I'm watching. Yeah, and then Fast and Furious comes out.
Yeah, and then I'm like, cinema's dead.
Cinema's dead.
Cinema's dead.
I can't believe this.
Dead and buried. There's something so euphoric and like it's an out-of-body experience when a Spider-Man story hits. And the Spider-Man stories that hit are Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, for me. With the, like, euphoric feeling of, like, man, I'm literally him. Spider-Man? I'm literally Spider-Man.
I'm literally him.
I'm literally Spider-Man. Like...
This is crazy.
It's genuinely insane now that I'm thinking about it. Now that I'm really thinking about it, this might be number 2 Spider-Man movie. Because none of the live-action ones... really, like, I care about the characters and I care about what happens and I enjoy them. I have fun with the movies, right? and most of them get me to like be emotional and cry and stuff. But nothing. I feel like these two impact my life after the movie way more than the other ones. Maybe No Way Home, just because of the spectacle of it all, but like really impact my life. I mean, when I was a kid, you watch a Spider-Man movie, you're like, I'm literally him, and you buy a costume, and you buy the silly string web shooters, right? But unfortunately,
all things I've done.
Society doesn't favor an adult man with a mortgage who does that.
They do if he has money.
Yeah, they do if it's like a celebrity or someone who's important, and they're like, hey, he's funny and quirky. But if you're a regular person, they're like, get a life, get a job.
What are you?
No, I'm not. But yeah, I don't know. And also the same thing with Into the Spider-Verse, where Into the Spider-Verse definitely helped me in my life, being like, I'm literally Spider-Man. Anyone really can wear the mask. Just all of the several like messages and morals it had really impacted me in my life. But also like as an artist, both in my I don't really know how to define the difference, but like in the writing stuff that I do, and also in my drawing stuff that I do, it's like things can actually be cool now. Like I don't know. Things can be like, things can really be this fucking cool. It's crazy. I don't know, and Across the Spider-Verse did that for me. It's just such a cool movie. It's an experience is the thing.
Yeah. There's
so much emotion just in the fact. I don't know. I think it's like very like it's like woven in the very like nature of Spider-Man as a character. Like I mean that's what Stan Lee intended with it, for it to be relatable. Like, and you can envision anyone under the mask, all this stuff, right? And it's just so true. It's just so crazy how true that rings. Like timelessly, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's a good movie. I gotta watch it again.
I gotta watch it again. I'm gonna watch it again. I'm gonna watch it again this week.
I'm gonna watch it again this week.
But
I think we have some friends come up to Flagstaff. I'm gonna take them and watch it.
Watch that. Buy it. It's treat. But I say the movie because both the animated ones do that for me as well. I would say the live action one that does that for me as well is Spider-Man 2, because I watched it over the last summer. And I had written, I mean, you know what Pen is, but for people who don't, I made a short film called Pen, whatever. But I remember I wrote the script, and the script's done, and the only thing left to do is shoot the movie.
Yeah.
But in order to do that, I had to draw the drawings that are in there, and so I was procrastinating because I didn't want to do that, because I didn't know how I was gonna make the movie, because they're pens, and I didn't know how to do that. Because I can't just animate pens. I'm not,
Yeah.
And so I didn't want to do that. So I was watching this movie. I watched it, like I usually do with, good movies. I watched it 4 days in a row. So I was watching it. Maybe like the second or third day I was watching it, there was like a line that either Peter or Dr. Octavius had. I was like, oh shoot, that's the point. Not only is this the point of the movie, but it's also helping me in my life, because and I recorded a little snippet video of like, I paused the movie and I like talked to myself, as motivation, I suppose, or inspiration.
Sure.
And I'm just like, Peter didn't want to be Spider-Man, but it's the sacrifice he has to make. It's the right thing to do, even though he didn't want to do it. And it helps a lot of people. And I was like, I have to make this movie. And so that, after I watched the movie, I wrote notes on it, and then I started drawing for the freaking pen thing. And then I looked back at it when I was, forget it, I won't say that. But that's a secret. But I would say Spider-Man 2 does that for me. And then watching this movie, Across the Spider-Verse, because I could see Into the Spider-Verse doing it too, I just haven't seen it in a while. But after watching Across the Spider-Verse on Sunday, as you know, I've been struggling with just getting back to in shape, and food and everything. So after the movie, I had pizza, and I told my family, I was like, I'm done, I'm working out, all this stuff, and then there I have pizza, and they don't know that I did because they were all gone. But after the movie, I was thinking about it. I'm like, damn, anyone can wear the mask. And I was like, why can't I? And then I was like, screw it. And then I wrote down a little contract, whatever, with like Spider-Man stuff on it. And I was like, I'm just going to, it's a leap of faith. And I was like, I'm just going to try this thing. So now I have a better attitude towards fitness and food. Granted, it's only been 2 days, But the movie does do that. Plus, I can listen to the music whenever I feel down.
That's the magic.
And that helps me too.
That's the magic of art. It does even for however long it lasts. It's every little thing that we consume in any way that it affects us. That's important stuff as people. It's just woven in our nature, like you said, with storytelling and everything. There's a reason that we've always done it, and there's a reason that we'll always keep doing it. But this movie.
How the hell did you do that?
Oh, look at this. I'm just cool like that.
Whatever. No, I can ride a bike.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, you need to be taught that. You don't need to be taught this. You gotta be born with it. Nature versus nurture, baby. That's what that means. I have a Spider-Man blanket right here. I just realized that.
I had a spider. I didn't bring any Spider-Man shirts because I forgot this movie.
I have literally I have this little thing right here full of Spider-Man Funko I have a shit ton, and then I have this guy. He's literally me. And then I have to have this guy.
Oh, I'm just kidding.
You threw a bagel at me.
Bagel.
But yeah,
dude, I also love. Oh, what's it? Sorry.
No, you're good. What?
Is it Ben Johnson? Is that his name?
Who's Ben Johnson?
Crap. The freaking New Girl guy.
Jake.
That guy's awesome. Jake Johnson.
That
awesome.
scene with him and Miles. I don't even know what the fuck they were in that machine thing where he's telling him to take his baby. That scene is fucking amazing.
My baby.
That scene, it was pretty funny, but like what it means for both of their characters and for the overall movie is honestly insane. Like I don't know, I really love that scene. Like the fact that he's like, the only reason I had Mayday was because of you, and like if it wasn't for you, I never would have had her. And it's talking about, it's basically like, without actually saying it, it's basically saying that like Miles changed his canon event, which is a big part of the movie plot wise, right? And basically being like on his side, like changing this stuff, and I don't know, it was a really beautiful scene, and I don't know, love Jake Johnson, love what's it, Peter B. Parker, love that guy.
Yeah,
love this movie.
It's so good. And then I remember my dad was one of the parts that I saw my dad watching is when he's like, "I love you. I'm so proud of you. Do I want kids?"
Yeah. I was
so good.
Kids? We thought of that, right? No, yeah, the first movie is insane.
The mentor stuff was funny too.
We should have, yeah. I taught him that, so clearly I gotta be a pretty good mentor.
That was crazy. He planned all of that.
Mm-hmm. Also, Miguel O'Hara, kind of hot. I'm just gonna say it.
I didn't see him too much.
Where else would you have been looking?
Well, it was dark.
That's true. He was cool though.
He was cool. I hate him.
Don't even get me started on Doctor Strange and that little nerd from Earth 1999. Who's Doctor Strange?
He's like, Doctor Strange.
Who's Doctor Strange?
The cat Spider-Man. I remember that one.
Little spider cat, yeah. Little hairball and shit. Yep.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. The Spider-Man that I have drawn on my wall since I was like in 6th or 7th grade. Probably 7th or 8th grade, actually. He made an appearance as like the one, they're like, Spider-Man, the one who's exiting gate 4 or whatever. I'm just like, I drew that guy.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's my dog right there. My man got some screen
around,
cred.
and then he turns around, and the Miles is like on his back. Yeah, that was cool.
That's my dog.
That's my man. That's my boy right there.
If you ever need anything, you let me know, because that's my dog. Ukraine, Russia accuse each other of blowing up Key Dam. Well,
you hate to
see it.
You hate to see it. Oh, that's funny. They had Bombastic Bagman. I have him on my table.
Oh yeah, but he was on the left side, and I felt bad.
People were saying that about I saw like when they talk about that theory, they were like, oh, left, someone was like, Spider-Man PS4 better get on that right side because I like it too much.
That was cool to see him too.
Yeah, he was cool. It was like, we have video game, and a video game guy, and then it was him. That was really cool. Yeah, I don't know. I would be interested to see our no, this would technically be a post-mortem. What's a word? I don't know. Watch it again and see what we think. Do a Cinemas Corner again after we watch it both the second time. And then I would like to see what you think about Into the Spider-Verse. When was the last time you watched it? Like a year ago? Because I know you and I watched it like a year ago.
That's the last time I watched it.
Okay. Then yeah, it was about a year ago.
Banger movie, though.
Banger,
what I recall.
Banger film, though, is the thing. Yeah, I mean, when I watched it, I was... Because I'm doing a thing where I'm watching every Marvel movie ever. And I'm gonna do like a commentary video where I talk about them all and how they either fuck or suck. And and the one that I watched on Friday was Howard the Duck, and I was like, let's go. But
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, me too. And I came home from work and I was like really tired and I fell asleep. And then I woke up because my plan was to watch Howard the Duck and then Into the Spider-Verse because I was gonna watch Spider-Man the next day. So I watched Howard the Duck, fell asleep, and I woke up and it was like the main menu screen of the DVD. And I was like, well, there you go. So, I woke up and then I threw on Into the Spider-Verse, and like I was still fucking tired, but
like a light,
like didn't miss a beat. I was in it. I was in that shit.
I'm there.
Crying, laughing. I was there. I love a movie where I'm in it. I'm there.
I love a movie like I'm in it.
Haven't seen a good movie in a minute. How about that? Fire.
I haven't seen a good movie in a minute.
I am curious. Me and Jacob both did say that we did like Guardians 3 more though. You haven't seen Guardians 3
I haven't
yet,
seen
have
it.
You?
No. I just know there's an otter.
There's an otter. You'll love that otter too. Dog's good. Dog's great even. But you should watch. It was really good. I mean the Guardians movies, James Gunn, man. This movie though, it's a tie. Well, I don't know about a tie, but it's close, is what I meant to say. I'd have to rewatch both of them simultaneously. I don't know. And the thing is, they're both really good. I think if I had to put it this way, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is really consistent, really consistently amazing, right? But the highs that I got from Across the Spider-Verse are higher, but like you said, the sour taste and everything maybe just barely like drops it below. Just because like the fact that I can't name to you a bad thing about Guardians, but I don't like the ending of Across the Spider-Verse, maybe kind of like bumps it a little. You know what I mean? That's just my thing. But they're both fantastic movies.
It's fantastic.
In terms of Marvel movies, Ant-Man and the Wasp, though, you can skip it. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania for 2023 Marvel movies, you can skip it.
You know what would go hard? An animated Fantastic Four movie.
Animated Fantastic Four movie would go insanely hard.
They just never listen to good ideas.
They just never listen to good ideas. They really don't. Honestly,
is that cast
Wasp
confirmed?
Quantumania, I don't know. It's pretty heavily like rumored. I don't know. Wasn't it Adam Driver as Mr. Fantastic?
Margot Robbie.
That'll be interesting. Margot Robbie.
It's the only two I remember.
And then Daveed Diggs was the thing. I remember that. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, animated. Honestly, maybe superhero movies should just stick to animateds. I mean, the actors are in and out one day in the stew. They look better.
That's not one day.
I know. But like maybe a week, give or take.
It might be more than that.
And then like, I was gonna say reshoots. That's probably not that name. That's probably not what they call it for voice acting. But you know, I don't know. It's better than like having to train your body for years and then be on set for another couple months, and then your contract is all fucky wucky with whether you're gonna come back or not and when, and if you do come back, if it's even gonna be a good fucking movie.
You probably get paid less though, right? Because you're just doing one thing besides pressing tours.
I guess so. But I mean, then they have more times for other jobs. You know what I mean? You know how many actors, like when they're like Robert Downey Jr., what the fuck did he do between 2008 and 2019? What did
Doolittle,
he do?
bro.
He did what?
Doolittle.
No, that was after Endgame.
Ah. He was probably in stuff. Chef.
The only thing I can think. Oh, Chef. The only thing I can think of was Chef, Doolittle, and The Judge. And only one of those is a banger.
Yeah, Doolittle for the win here.
Yeah, Doolittle kind of goes crazy.
Oh my gosh, what am I looking at?
Oh my goodness. I don't know. I don't have anything else to say about the movie. Run, Do Not Walk. If you stuck and you haven't seen it, you're stupid. I'm sorry for spoiling it. That's on you. We told you to go away.
We didn't even spoil it that much.
We really didn't, surprisingly. Anyways, I can't wait to see what the spot does next time. Tune in.
I can't believe my dad, when he fell asleep, he thought he missed something because he was like, "Where'd the spot go?"
And I was like, couldn't
And
tell you.
And he was like, "Did Miles' dad die?" And I'm like, "You're gonna have to wait till a year, Dad."
Not yet, man.
And I asked him to go too because he hadn't been to the movies in a while. I was like, "Hey, I'm watching this movie."
Let's go. Was it just you, your dad, and your sister?
Yeah, my mom didn't. She would have been asking questions.
Didn't need.
She would have been like, "Who's that?"
Spider-Man.
Yeah, and if she sat next to me, I would have.
Who's that? Spider-Man. Just every time. No,
Spider-Man.
Not Spider-Man.
Stop, Spider-Man. You.
You.
No.
Miles Morales.
Oh, I can confirm. After watching, also another thing from this movie. After watching this movie, the EP is now an album.
Your EP?
Yeah.
Nice. Wait, so
I
how
think
many
it's just
songs did you
7.
have to add then?
I think it's just
from
2.
5 to 7? Okay.
Yeah.
go.
So, and they're already written. They're already done.
There we go.
I would just have to do vocals, but I can't do those. So
Yeah.
they're just written at this point. But yeah.
That's nice. That's cool. I'm glad this movie inspired you. You said after the movie, right? You said since this movie? Didn't you watch it like 2 days ago?
Yeah. I wrote the one I wrote yesterday. I wrote it like maybe 2 hours. It took me.
A lot of famous songs. They're like, yeah, I wrote that in a day, so I can believe it.
I think Drake wrote his verse on Jack Harlow's Churchill Downs in 11 minutes. And a lot of people, like, when they heard it, they're like, oh my gosh, this goes hard. This tops Jack's verse by a mile.
This goes absolutely insane.
I'm not one of those people, because I don't like that type of Drake.
Yeah.
Because he's just, like, ranting on, saying how, like, baller of a, money and all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
I'm just like, no, I need, like, one where you're, like, pissed off or, like, headlines type stuff. Or melodic Drake.
Something
That's
you
my
can
favorite.
sink your teeth into.
Yeah, but also just melodic Drake where he just sounds nice.
Once you become a director, you're gonna what happens if they ask you to make a Spider-Man movie, animated? Also, another thing, the three people directing this movie, not one of them had directed movies before. Kind of crazy.
Whoa.
Anyways, go
Yeah,
on.
I guess it's wide open for me. No, I'm just kidding. But if that happened and I was allowed,
Absolutely.
it would break records.
It would break records.
It would break records.
Let's just say cinema's back. Would be back.
And it just wouldn't be just like, oh, this is one of like the best animated films or best superhero movies.
Yeah.
It would just be one of the best movies. Period.
If you had,
but if they gave me access to that character, never mind.
Yeah.
I can't even.
Is it in your mind? Are you writer director or just director?
Writer director. What the
Writer
hell?
director, easy.
I'm not trusting anyone to write that.
In for a penny, in for a pound. Would you? So if that's the case, then would you prefer an animated movie or a live action one to make a Spider-Man?
I would want to do animated, but I don't know if I have that patience.
It's a lot of patience. It's a lot of years, a lot of time.
Just to like, because also I've never like directed actors to voice
actors.
Yeah, I don't know how they do that. Granted, Pete Docter didn't do it either when he did it, and he did a pretty good job.
Mm-hmm.
Or he didn't know how when he did it, but
It's gotta be like acting.
it's got to be like acting. But
Feel like that.
if they let me, not even just Spider-Man, if they let me just do an animated movie on one of those like Marvel characters, period, like Fantastic Four, I would.
Fantastic Four.
It would
I
literally
think
break numbers.
Would work. Probably work best as an animated movie. I think that about most superhero movies.
Because that's stretchy stuff. It looks bad every time.
I think that about pretty much. I would think that about any superhero property if I had the choice. Like, you know how much cooler Ant-Man as a character would be if you could animate that and make it visually like really interesting and cool. Unmatched.
Yeah.
Trying
to think of another character.
There are just characters that just will not translate. Like MODOK, I loved him in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. They could have animated him. He was a cool character. He was funny.
Oh. But visually?
Visually, I could take him or leave him. No, yeah, that would. I mean, Howard the Duck. I mean, what's there to say?
I know nothing.
Yeah, it's really not. I think that was like the last thing I thought before I fell asleep. I was like, man, I wish I could make an animated movie about this instead of this garbage.
Oh. I'm out like a light. I think it's a Drake verse. Yeah, it's on the Travis Scott, the sicko mode. Like a light.
Oh, that's right.
But I'm trying to think of another character. I don't know why I think Wonder Woman would look so cool in animated. Oh, Shazam. Never mind. I get back.
Shazam would be cool.
Mary'd be back. Mary, actually, just an animated Mary. Actually, I take it back. That has to be live action. I don't even know what I'm thinking. I don't even know what I'm thinking.
That has to be stupid.
That has to be live action. The people want it live action.
People want the people.
I can't. What am I supposed to do? I can't deny the people what they want.
I'm a man of the people. I give the people what they want. I'm a man of the people.
I didn't even know what I was thinking. I'm so sorry, America.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, DC heads.
So that, because I'm trying to think of DC characters too, because I mean they need to get their act straight. That I thought that, and I was like, I need to push it.
Well, James Gunn is doing animated films for his DC thing that are going to be in the same lore.
Better look good.
Yeah, I mean, from the concept art that he's released, it looks pretty cool.
I can't do another freaking Illumination type animation.
It ain't 3D. It's 2D.
Oh, that's better.
Already a good start.
Is this movie 3D? I don't know what qualifies.
Yeah, it is. They're 3D models. I mean, even like Spider-Ham and shit is a 3D model. They just like, yeah.
That's cool. I can't think of another character that you just like would like to see have an animated movie, because you know they would. You can do things there you can't do in live action.
I mean, for me, I'm not a big DC guy, but I could spend a whole nother Cinemas corner talking about Marvel movies, Marvel characters that I would like. Ghost Rider would be sick as fuck and animated.
Yeah.
Ghost Rider would be fucking dope. Man Thing.
That would be sick.
I mean, he did look really cool in Werewolf by Night, but I just think that you could do so much more. Doctor Strange would be fucking insane.
That would be crazy.
Like any magic user in that. Doctor Fate even for fucking DC. Atom Smasher, Noah Centineo, get him back, but like just have him be the voice.
Freaking what was it? If DC did do like a live action Doctor Fate movie with Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, that would be hype.
It would be hype, but I already know the type of like style they would go for, and it just makes me upset because it's like every other.
You said live action?
Yeah.
I don't really know anything about Doctor Fate to know where they would go in that direction. I think you know what I think we should do a Cinemas corner.
Hulk would go hard.
I have 2 ideas for Cinemas corner already. It's just me discussing. Remember the Fantastic Four movie I tried to write? When we watched them, and I was like, someone's got to make a good one. There's got to be someone out there who will make a good Fantastic Four movie. Although, hey, there's Tim Story ones. Close to my heart. You'll have to see
what?
them.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Tim Story
100%.
ones.
Yeah.
Certain things aside from like Jessica Alba stuff, like the weird her getting naked and stuff, cut that. Good movie.
I don't. Hold on. We can't deny what the people.
The people though.
Come on, man.
I mean, I remember that. I remember when Jason was going through watching a bunch of our good buddy Jason Escalators was watching a bunch of Marvel movies on Letterboxd. You just sort of slowly see the reviews come in, and I saw one of those Fantastic Four movies, and it was just something about like this is disgusting what they did for Jessica Alba, and these movies are kind of whack. And then they eventually got to Fan4stick, and they're like, I'm so sorry about what I said about the other 2 movies. And
what they do to Jessica Alba? I don't remember.
It was just weirdly. I mean, it was just like any other movie before, literally like a year ago, where it was really like sexualized, really sexual for no reason. They made her like. Remember when she was like, "You gotta get out of here," or they were like, "You gotta get out of here," and they made her go naked, invisible, and then she comes back visible, and she's naked, and she's like, "Oopsies." I don't need that. I need family fun. Damn it.
That's family.
Give me an animated family fun. Give me an animated family. Also, the Thing would look a lot cooler in animated. Just generally. But yeah, we're gonna do a Cinemas corner. I've just decided that where I discuss Frank. Oh, okay. Just like as an idea.
Well, there's DC Frankenstein.
Is it? Oh, that's right. He's in the show that I was talking.
James Gunn. Yeah.
Yeah, he's literally in the show. David Harbour's playing him, which is gonna be hype.
Hellboy.
Hellboy. Yeah, because that
I'm writing that. I'm
comics, there. The Hellboy comic art style, if it was in that like same art style, actually beautiful.
Oh, who the hell is that guy? Who made him?
I think that was.
I forgot his name.
Was that not Frank Miller?
No, that's not Frank Miller. He did Daredevil. You dumbass. What the hell is his name?
Look the same to me.
Oh no! Hold on! Don't look it up.
I'm not looking it up.
Oh my gosh! It's on the tip of my tongue.
Hellboy.
Oh my gosh! Don't you better not tell me his name.
I mean, I'm looking up, but I won't tell you. Oh, oh yeah, this guy.
Come on.
I remember the name.
Because his last name, I'm just like, how the hell do you say that? Because it starts with an M.
Yep. Yep.
I did so much work.
They should do an animated Smosh movie.
No. All right, give me the name.
Mike Mignola. Michael Mignola. I'm assuming Michael is his full name.
That's my guy right there.
That's my boy Michael. Yeah, well, I'm gonna do a Cinemas Corner where I talk about my. I'm not gonna like touch it. I'm just gonna pull up the Google Docs from fucking what was that 2 years ago when I tried to write Fantastic Four movie. I didn't write a script, but I only did like the concept stuff, like plot and all that stuff, outlining. Really, I never began to write a script. I think I ended up making the plot for a whole trilogy, which was kind of hype. And then I'll probably do one either on our Patreon for Cinemas Corner or on my personal Patreon where I talk about my Howard the Duck series. That one did take. I spent a lot of time on that one, and that was like my crowning achievement. If I can ever, I think I deleted the video where I'm like, hey Kevin Feige.
Oh man.
I didn't delete it. I just unlisted it. I unlisted like a bunch of videos and I was like, this is stupid. But
call to action.
Yeah, that's what it was. But yeah, because I put a lot of time into that, and honestly, legitimately, I would drop my whole life if it meant I could make that happen. Like move to wherever they do animation, like Toronto, or somewhere in LA, or California. I don't know where the fuck they do animation. Who knows? Cal Arts, their mom's basement. I don't know. Wherever I can get my Howard the Duck message out there, I'm there. I might just have to make an animatic. I might make an animatic of the first episode, and then put that on
show
YouTube.
it.
Yeah.
Oh.
I get the homies to do some voices for me. That'd be cool. I probably would be Howard the Duck. I'm just gonna say that. I'm just gonna put that out there. I'm gonna put that out there. I really want to do something with my art now that I'm trying to make more like stuff. I mean, I've been over this. The damn Dan Renaissance is back, coming soon. I would like to do some more stuff that require I can do like voice acting, but quite honestly, with my art, animation, like me being the one to animate it, is not the way I want to go with my life. So, we gotta find another way. But I just don't want to do more voice acting in my life. I gotta get one of those like agency like websites that like Jacob uses for acting stuff. Just look up voice acting roles. 21-year-old man.
You gotta pay for those though.
Gotta pay for those. That's the thing.
Yeah, I don't know who'd do that, but
oh man, but,
that's what we're missing. We need an animator friend.
We need an animator friend.
We got actor. We got voice actor.
I would be down if it was just not so incredibly time consuming and hard.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. Screw that.
I can animatic. I can storyboard. I can animatic the shit out of some shit. You want me to animate every little keyframe though? Oh man, I just don't get it. I mean, I do. It's really fun. I just don't get how people are that have the patience. I'm not a patient man in my life, if I'm being perfectly honest, in any aspect. Anyways, if I was though, Spider-Ham movie.
Oh.
Or no show.
Yeah.
But it's done. It's paid. The script's out. I'm pitching it. I actually can't pitch to anyone but Disney. That's crazy. Or Sony.
Yeah.
Listen, Sony. I know I'm just
Pascal Pictures.
I know I'm just some nobody from Phoenix, Arizona. Next. Well, now hold on. Hold on a second. Calm down. Let's take it easy for just a moment.
Take it easy.
Take it easy. All right.
That's really funny.
Well, I feel like that's wrapping up this Cinemas Corner. For all of our lovely, what do we call our friends? Critter heads out there. We have, this would be Cinemas Corner 5, I believe. And we have 2 more that most of you guys haven't seen because it's on our Patreon, as well as other watch along. And we did a Paul Blart one, which I have to edit, and then we'll throw that out there too. But we'll do a Cinemas Corner and extra stuff because now that we actually have patrons, there's a reason to do it. So if anyone wants more content from me and Raymond, we have that Cinemas Corner and then some more coming eventually. But for now, tune in next week where we're back to our regular scheduled program, A Critters Corner. Raymond, any final thoughts?
Anyone can wear the mask. Oh, my battery.
Anyone can wear the mask. It's what you do with the mask that matters. Run, do not walk to the theater.
Yeah.
Cinema's back. See y'all next week.